off we go then. Championship football at Carrow Road. And it's all about for Norwich City at the moment, making sure that we can play Championship football at Carrow Road next season as well. QPR in their blue and white hoop shirts with the white shorts and the white socks. Norwich in yellow and green, and prodding the ball immediately forward to Forson, who actually does seem to have started on the right-hand side as a direct replacement for Makama. Marcondes maintaining his position in the number 10. The cross swung in by Forson, flicked on by Marcondes. Sargent then can't control it. And it's scrambled away by QPR as Norwich go towards the Barclay end. Schwartau keeping the ball inside the QPR territory. And then it's cleared towards halfway and Norwich have it back. What do you want to see from Norwich at the start here, QT? How do they set the tone?
This here, I know we're really early into the game, but getting the ball out wide and rather than trying to, beat your man or laying it back, what will happen if we do put the ball in the box? Let's ask questions of QPR in their back line, and that's exactly what we saw there. So, more positivity and getting the ball in the dangerous areas.
What they've done is just given it to QPR. Mistake by Harry Darling, and Varane comes forward for QPR. Plays it out towards the right-hand side, and they've got plenty up in this attack as well, the London side. Fisher makes an important tackle. Marcondes is doubling up, and Norwich should clear. Sargent back deep inside his own half, gets fouled, and that's a free kick. That was a ball from Darling there, and he's now falling out with Pelle Matson over it. Darling just rolled the ball into midfield straight to Jonathan Varane. No, it didn't go anywhere near a Norwich play.
Yeah, just a miscommunication or misunderstanding there. Luckily Josh Sargent was deep enough to come and pick the ball up, and very clever, took the foul, and Norwich back on the ball.
I know you want us to be positive, QT.
Yep.
Norwich have scored 2 goals at the Barclay end this season. Makama and Quisco, and Norwich haven't got a single player on the pitch who's scored at the Barclay end this season. That's got to change, isn't it, today?
It has got to change. It has. I mean, any end, and if we score 2 goals today, none of them at the Barclay end, and we don't concede any, I'll be just as delighted with that.
Here's Harry Darling, bringing the ball forward for Norwich City. Plays it out towards Fisher on the left-hand side. He's got forward. Runs towards the edge of the QPR penalty area on the left wing. Has support out there from Schwartau. Back towards Darling. Every QPR player back inside their own half at the moment. Looking to keep it tight after a win over Blackburn in midweek. They've won their last 2, QPR. They're up in mid-table, looking up towards the playoffs rather than over their shoulders. It's about whether Norwich City can find a way to break them down. In the end, Norwich have moved it all the way back to the halfway line here with McConville. On now to Darling, who picks out Schwartau. Very tight on the left-hand side. Marcondes and Schwartau exchange passes nicely. Schwartau carries it forward on the left. He's level with the penalty area, gets tackled, and that's the first corner of the game. But it is positive play from Norwich City.
Yeah, I'm obviously happy with the corner. I'd like we saw on the right side earlier on, I'd like to have seen him at least take the chance of whipping the ball in rather than just trying to beat the man. He's won a corner, can't be overcritical, but I'd just like to have seen him try and whip the ball in the box early just to catch those QPR defenders that are running back towards their goal a bit unawares. And
corner for Norwich. Schwartau to take. 3 minutes gone, 0-0. With his right foot from the left-hand side. Darling up from the back. McConville is in there as well, amongst others, as the corner is delivered by Schwartau right under the crossbar and headed out almost from behind the goalkeeper there who missed it. Fisher floats it back in the box and gets too much on it, and behind it goes. Not a bad delivery from Schwartau. Really whipped it in under the crossbar, and Paul Nardi, the goalkeeper for QPR, threw himself at it but didn't seem to get anywhere near the ball, and was actually grateful for whoever it was behind him to head it away. Sam Field it was.
Yeah, terrific delivery in. Very difficult for the keeper to come and collect that with any confidence, and Norwich unlucky not to get somebody on the end of it. QPR managed that situation well. But just going back to your 2 goals, Chris, at the Barclay end, and just thinking about 2 goals for Norwich in general at the moment, that's what's going to need if, even if Norwich are in the ascendancy and playing really well, that threat of a mistake or that threat of a set-piece goal, if a team scores here, through whatever circumstances, Norwich need 2 goals to win the game, and that's a big ask at the minute. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
the goals really drying up this season. The goals for stats last season under Johannes Torp were pretty good, pretty encouraging, but they were letting too many in. This season, the goals have dried up. Just the 16 so far from Norwich City in the Championship. Only 2 teams have fewer than that. Here's Pelle Matson in the midfield, picking out Sargent, who's dropped deep here for Norwich City. Bit of anticipation from the Carrow Road crowd as he holds it up and then tries to find Stacey on the right-hand side. The ball held up in the turf, but Stacey did well to catch up with it. Now Forson beats his man, cuts in. He's 20 yards out. He's going to go for goal with a curling shot that goes over the top. But again, applause from Kenny McLean and a lot of the Carrow Road crowd, because it was somebody trying to make something happen.
Yeah, it's positive, and I'd like to have seen him gone down when the tug of his arm happened, because I thought he'd got away from him, but actually he did manage to get his shot away, and it's got good power on it. It's probably got underneath it a little bit too much, but again, early sort of positive signs.
Well, Norwich have only won 5 home games this calendar year, but the first of those, back at the start of the year, remember those stoppage time heroics from Forson when they were 1-0 down to Coventry with 90 minutes up, and he scored twice in stoppage time. A real highlight of his Norwich career so far. A lot of injuries in that time, only his 10th league start for the club today since signing at the start of last season. Fisher heads the ball out of play in the rain at Carrow Road, and it's a throw into QPR over on the right hand side as they attack the river end of the ground. 0-0, 5.5 minutes gone. Norwich kicking off 7 points from Championship safety. Wins earlier on for Sheffield United, but Portsmouth were beaten 1-0 by Bristol City, so that has dropped Pompey into the bottom 3. And it's Portsmouth on 17 and now occupying the final relegation position. Also on 17, Swansea, just hovering above the drop zone before this afternoon's games. 0-0. Sato has the ball on the right-hand side for QPR. Tees up an opportunity for the cross to come in. It's blocked. And now Queen's Park Rangers have their first corner of the game. I was just talking about Swansea. They've gone 1-0 up at West Brom. And Sheffield Wednesday, the only team below Norwich in the table, but of course they've had a points deduction, so they're quite a long way behind Norwich. They've gone 1-0 up against Preston, but Swansea, if they get a 3 points today, then that's another team that Norwich have got to try and keep pace with. But it's still very early in the afternoon.
Yeah, and that idea of picking up points as quickly as we can is an important one, because even if we got a win today, there's nothing to say the teams around us won't win, and so we haven't closed any gap. But what we've done is just maintained where we are. So it's really crucial that we.
QPR corner, Elias Chair from the right hand side plays it in, it's headed down into the 6-yard box. It's still in the Norwich penalty area, no one's got control of it, but now the flag goes up as Burrell chased it into the 6-yard box. He was flagged offside, but a few worries at Carrow Road there as the corner came in. It was a QPR head that won it.
Yeah, and I didn't see the offside, I did miss it, but the QPR player that's picked the ball up after the flick on was in acres of space. Yeah, he had his back to goal and he was going away from goal a little bit, but he didn't have a Norwich player within about 7 or 8 yards of him.
Romain Burrell, the striker who was flagged offside there. 6 goals this season, signed from Burton Albion, another example of something that we were talking about with Philippe Clement before the game with Rob Butler, that actually you can pick up talent and useful players from lower divisions, and Norwich did that with McCarmer. But if you're just tuning in, he's ill today and missing. 0-0 at Carrow Road. McLean to Stacey. Norwich building well on the right hand side. Stacey to Sargent, who takes the shot on early in the penalty area, and behind it goes. It's a corner, it got deflected. What was good there though was that Norwich moved the ball quickly. Sometimes you get a sense that they want too long on the ball. That was a couple of passes and Sargent was in.
Yeah, worked really well. The angle, the position of the QPR defender was always going to be difficult for Sargent to get any meaningful shot on target. It was defended well, but now a corner for Norwich.
For the right hand side this time, which McLean will swing in with his left foot as the rain gets heavier, driving in. I can see a couple of the stewards in the Barclay end pulling their bright orange hoods up as the rain swirls in. Now McLean with the corner. It's not been dealt with by QPR. There's a chance for Marcondes and it's blocked. It's not away yet though. Players jumping for it. Gotta be! Yes! Norwich have scored! And it's Marcondes! QPR could not deal with the corner. It looped up in the air. It landed invitingly in the 6-yard box. And it was Emi Marcondes who dashed onto it and finished clinically. And Norwich have scored in front of the Barclay end. It's Norwich City 1, QPR 0.
Yeah, well, they did really well there, Chris, with the corner. First shot blocked, kept the ball alive, kept it going. I don't know who it was that got the flick on, and Marcondes, absolutely no one near him. That's 3 goals in front of the Barclay end now.
And it was one they needed, desperately needed. Emi Marcondes. As the corner, we're just getting a chance to see it again. Really poor defending from QPR initially. They didn't clear it. And when it was headed on, it fell to Marcondes right on the edge of the 6-yard box. No one around him. McConville it is who heads it in his direction. And Marcondes keeps his composure, fires it in low. It's a real confident finish from a player who'd actually only got 1 goal in his last 24 games before today. That might be just what Norwich City needed. What a finish.
Finished that really well. Yeah, took it really well. And just need to build on that now.
Emi Marcondes puts Norwich in front. Only the 3rd goal at the Barclay end this season, but at the other end, McConville, having set up a goal, has just got in a tangle against Burrell. Here come QPR. Burrell's cross headed behind by Jack Stacey. Norwich in front, a precious lead. It reminded me a little bit of the goal they scored against Oxford the other night, where it was. It wasn't the first time the ball had gone into the penalty area. They just kept delivering it and asking questions. And sometimes when you do that, you get the right answer.
Yeah, there you go, and took it really, really well. Obviously, those few moments after you score a goal, you're just a little bit kind of vulnerable to conceding, and they've got a corner to defend here.
Yeah, well, Norwich have just scored indirectly from a corner. Now they've got to try and defend a corner. Elias Chair, the Moroccan international, wearing a pair of black gloves, gets ready to take this corner from the left-hand side, floats it towards the far post. Kovacevic has come and fallen to the floor, hasn't got there. It's headed away, only as far as Dembele on the right-hand side now for QPR, who delivers into the penalty area. Field shows for it, he crosses, tap in, QPR are level. Norwich City were only in front for a couple of minutes, and it was Burrell who stole into the 6-yard box to tap it in. And at one end, Norwich City scoring after QPR failed to deal with a corner. And now the same thing has happened at the other end of the pitch, and this time QPR have scored, and it's Norwich 1, QPR 1.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, similar in many ways to the Oxford goal, a little bit nearer the goal and the goalkeeper for the finish, but again, it's down that right-hand side. Koss comes in, comes back out again. QPR have kept the ball alive this time, fired it back in across the near post, and straight to QPR players, tapped it into an empty net from 2 yards, would you say?
1-1. Still no clean sheet for Norwich at Carrow Road this season. Rain's getting heavier. Almost biblical out there looking at the sky, with darkness beginning to fall at Carrow Road, but all sorts of greys and oranges and blues in the sky above the ground. And the celebrations at Carrow Road have been cut short. We've seen two similar goals, really. A corner put in at the Barclay from Norwich City that wasn't cleared, and Marcondes was there to finish. And then at the other end of the pitch, QPR put a corner in. Norwich don't deal with it, and when the ball comes back into the penalty area, there was time for Sam Field to play it into the 6-yard box and Romain Burrell to score his 7th goal of the season. Romain Burrell, from a Burton player, and that every time you just think it might be turning for Norwich City, something like that happens.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, the other worrying thing about that is QPR will now get a sense of just how uncomplicated it is to score a goal against Norwich.
Marcondes with a poor pass forward there. QPR clear it away, swept up the field by Dembele to Sato now, Japanese midfielder, and Burrell can't trace that one because he's offside, and that means the ball will go through to Kovacevic. And it's just as we've been talking about the Carrow Road crowd needing something to get their teeth into, and they had it here with that early goal, but straight away the enthusiasm's been punctured. But here's McLean switching it along the ground to the right-hand side, and the ball rolls out of play. This rain, QT, is making life interesting. Absolute downpour now. Philippe Clement is trying to shelter, I think, as close to the stand as he can over on the far side with that black baseball cap on.
We'd just take anything we can, sir.
It's the rain's driving in, and we're just peering over the gantry here. Some of the supporters in the front row of the south stand are actually trying to move a few rows back, and the hoods are going up because although there's a roof over their heads, the rain is actually on the wind is being swirling into the stands. So if you're in the front few rows of it, either the Barclay stand or the south stand here, you've got the rain coming right in on you. 1-1. It's not comfortable. It's not been comfortable at Carrow Road all season for Norwich fans, but can they get back in front here? McLean swings the cross in from the right-hand side, headed up in the air and away this time by QPR. Norwich look like they want to keep asking questions though with McLean, giving it away this time though to Sato, and a counter-attack could be on for QPR. Excellent interception from Maatsen, and that looked like it might have taken another flick before it went out of play, but it's a QPR throw.
Really hard for the linesman to see from there, but right in front of us, I thought it hit a QPR player just before it went off. But
driving rain, and it's raining goals at Carrow Road, at least by the standards we've seen this season. 13 minutes gone, 1-1. Norwich in front on 8 minutes through Marcondes.
Gosh.
But only a couple of minutes later, the QPR equaliser. Now Mbenge, the right back for QPR, fails to control a very difficult high ball. Schwartau gets to it, plays it back to Fisher. Now it's gone back to Harry Darling, who just clips it forwards towards the halfway line. Across comes Steve Cook, vastly experienced centre-back, pumps it long. Something for Norwich to defend against here. Harry Darling heads it down. Fisher, the Norwich left back, chased towards his own corner flag here. And QPR have got him under pressure, and he eventually manages to clear it upfield, and he's done really well to pick out Marcondes, who holds it in play and finds Oscar Schwartau. Schwartau now plays it into the feet of Sargent. Sargent doing his best to hold on to the ball, ends up losing it. Terrific tackle from Maatsen, wins it for Norwich City, and there's an attack on, and it's Forson who carries it up towards the QPR penalty area. Just held up there by the challenge, but he's gathered possession now, curls it into the box. Schwartau's offside. He did well to get to the ball, but the flag went straight up, and Marcondes' shot brings a brilliant save out of Nardi, even though the flag had gone up.
Yeah, well worked. Cut inside again, Forson. Got his head up, saw the run, could have held it a little bit. I still think he would have been in. Didn't need to go as early as he did. Lovely delivery in. what was interesting, I mean, he's got his goal already, Marcondes, but he looked to square that, and I thought he would have probably... He's well onside, by the way.
Oh, yes. VAR in the Championship.
Yeah, he's looked to square that. He's inside the 6-yard box. I would be, given he's got his goal already, just sticking my foot through that. But there you are. What I also saw down there, and I might have just called it wrong or been at the wrong angle, but Callum Fisher had the ball, and it just looked, I don't know whether it's to do with his mistake earlier in the game, but it just looked like Darling didn't want it from him, didn't move and give him an option, and whether that was just a bit of a confidence thing or...
A terrific tackle from Maatsen a moment ago, and he's just won the ball again on halfway, getting a chance to start with that injury to Topic, and rising to the occasion over the last couple of moments. Now McLean sweeps the ball long towards the left-hand side. Schwartau is onside this time, level with the QPR penalty area. Behind him is Callum Fisher, plays it low to McLean on the edge of the box. McLean tries to tease up a teammate, Marcondes. The move breaks down, but Maatsen again wins it back. Here's Schwartau, closed down and tackled, and QPR have scrambled it back towards the halfway line. I can see their head coach, I think it is, Julian Stefan, QPR head coach, getting his point across over on the far side of the pitch. Was the manager Rennes and Strasbourg. He's gone up against Philippe Clement before in a couple of games when Philippe Clement was at Monaco and Julian Stefan was at Strasbourg in the top flight in France. But the setting here is Carrow Road, the Championship, and it's a typical Championship battle really. 1-1 between Norwich City and Queen's Park Rangers on BBC Radio Norfolk with 16 minutes gone. Marcondes had Norwich in front. Romain Barrel has equalised. McLean finds Fisher on the left-hand side, going forward, getting tackled, and now McLean's just got to tuck in that left-back position, and they've got the ball in behind him, and Barrel is onto it here, right-hand side, crosses into the Norwich penalty area, dealt with comfortably by McConville, and now Norwich have got Fisher infield, dribbling the ball up towards the halfway line. Lovely threaded pass to Marcondes, who tries to thread it on to Sargent in turn, but the ball's going to run away from him. Through to Nani, the goalkeeper, who's lost it and come out of his box and has to kick it away. Seemed like a relatively simple collection for the goalkeeper,
yeah,
but he let it
Forson
slip.
Just on his heels a little bit as well. He was close enough. I mean, I don't know if he'd got there if he'd have been on his toes, but yeah, it was just a little something, a little glimpse.
Here's McLean from deep for Norwich City, every QPR player between him and the goal, but he's managed to find the pass to Maatsen. On quickly to Stacey, who's well forward, right-hand side, takes it into the penalty area. Jack Stacey hits a shot, it's charged down. Had 3 plays at least in the penalty area there to look for, and now McLean's missed the challenge on Elias Chair, and the QPR man is away in space on the left-hand side. He's already up towards the edge of the Norwich penalty area, plays it inside here to Sato. Sato on the edge of the box has got support arriving from Dembele. His shot is blocked by a sliding Callum Fisher, and Norwich clear. It's really open, this game, isn't it?
It is, and you know, 1 minute Norwich on the attack, and I think Dembele should have done better with his shot. He had more time than I thought, and he's allowed, I think it was Fisher, to get the block in, but yeah, Norwich just got to be careful. It's great that we want
Maatsen
to
in
play
again,
players
superb
forward.
challenge from Maatsen to win it off Varane. It's 2 or 3 times he's done that now. Marcondes runs into trouble but manages to keep going, and in the end finds Forson with a bit of room on the right-hand side. This game ebbing and flowing at the moment. 1-1. Forson tries to pick out a pass. It's charged down. Now McLean wasn't expecting that. He was on his heels, and QPR have cleared up towards halfway. Challenge from Darling. No foul given. Norwich have got it back in QPR territory with McLean. Comes forward. Beats a couple of challenges. It's a great run from Kenny McLean, whose shot is deflected, and the keeper claws it away. And that will be a corner. Kenny McLean hasn't scored since February last year, and that was against QPR.
Just kept going, and it opened up for him in the end, and I think he'd be happy with the connection he got on his shot, and it was sort of blocked, and you think it's looping over the keeper, and keeper managed to get a hand and touch it out for a corner.
Hasn't scored for Norwich, I should say. He's famously scored for Scotland in that time,
yes.
Of course. Swansea 2-0 up at West Brom. Another of the struggling teams on target to get 3 points today, but it's still so early on in the afternoon. Norwich 1-1 here with QPR, but they've got a corner. McLean from the left-hand side towards the far post, headed up in the air and behind. And 2 Norwich players coming in on that, Darling and Maatsen. Not sure where they collided with each other.
That's what it looked like from here as well. That they're both going up for the same ball, but you know, happens sometimes. You'd rather that than neither of them go up for it, but yeah, Norwich looking a bit more dangerous from corners.
Yeah, they are. They've scored indirectly from a corner, but they've also conceded from one as well. This game is very different to a lot you see in the Championship. Many of them are quite tentative early on and a bit chess matchy, but this one, I think the 2 early goals have helped. It's got a real blood and thunder feeling to it straight away, hasn't it? Norwich were in front through Marcondes, but Barrel with the equaliser. It's 1-1 at Carrow Road. Maatsen heading the ball forward. Cut out though by QPR, and
he's done okay to start.
He's won a couple of really important challenges, Pelle Maatsen, on halfway. And with Topic now injured, he's probably going to get a lot of football in that midfield. Maatsen, foul against Schwartau, free kick to QPR over on the far side, the right.
It's one of those tugbacks. At any other angle, you probably get away with it, because it's square onto the referee. You can see the distance and the shirt behind the QPR player as Marcondes pulled it back. So ref had to give a foul there, but
yeah, QPR in possession with Maatsen deep inside his own half. Gets it back again here, the Dane in the midfield, and it's Norwich's turn just to drop off towards halfway. And now it's played by QPR to Mbenge, and there's Maatsen in again, getting the better of Dembele, and it's played quickly by Schwartau to Marcondes. Marcondes picks out Sargent on the edge of the penalty area. It was a firm pass that he couldn't quite take in his stride, and QPR able to nick it away before Sargent's second touch.
It's been really key that Maatsen, like on his front foot, any ball into the player he's marking, and really trying to put pressure on and win the tackle and the ball high up the pitch, and then passing it forward. Like, we've had quite a few of our attacks starting from him getting that ball back and just moving it forward quickly.
Looks like a very clear instruction, doesn't it, on today on Maatsen?
Yeah,
he's tasked to just sit deeper, win the ball whenever he can, and not stand on ceremony. Norwich are getting the ball forward much more quickly than they have done for a lot of this season. But QPR now looking to hit Burrell, their goal scorer, on the left hand side. He won't keep that ball in play. It's a throw into Norwich City. 1-1. The rain has now left off, thankfully, and I can see a few hoods now going down in the front row of the stand down below us, but for a while there it was pretty uncomfortable, wasn't it? Still raining a little bit, but nowhere near as heavy as that shower we had a few moments ago. Sargent's just headed the ball out of play under pressure from Field, and it's a throw into QPR. Norwich desperate to try and get themselves a win here. Oxford have won this weekend against Ipswich. Sheffield United have won at Leicester, and now Swansea are winning away at West Brom. Important points being picked up by a lot of the teams towards the bottom of the Championship. Norwich aren't careful, they're going to get cut further adrift, but only they can do something about that. 1-1 at the moment with QPR. QPR's away record this season pretty good. 1-4, drawn 2 and lost 3 away from home. And they've got a throw in on the left hand side here, which Sam Field will take. A player who was with West Brom but joined QPR in 2021. His 190th appearance for visitors today. Usually a midfielder, but playing at left back at the moment. And his throw in is easily headed away by Jack Stacey, but returned by Varane to Chair. Maatsen cuts it out again, superbly deep inside his own half, then finds the pass to Sargent in the centre circle. Now Norwich might have options here. Sargent is dribbling it out towards the left hand side, just stops though and waits for a more definite option to present itself. It's a floated ball towards Forson, who was never going to get that, and it's headed out of play. Don't know whether Sargent could have been a bit more positive there, a bit more quick with the pass.
Yeah, he had a lot of ground in front of him, just knocking the ball out of his feet and just getting himself a bit closer to that goal. He's gone for the lofted diagonal pass, but that was a bit short and quite easy to cut out.
McLean looking for Harry Darling, who brings it forward for Norwich City. Fisher on the left hand side, halfway inside the QPR half. 1-1 at Carrow Road. Here's McLean on halfway for Norwich City. Puts his foot on the ball. He's got Sato tight to him, so he just pushes it to the left, and Darling, who quickly hurries it along that left touchline to Fisher. Harry Darling going forward. Every QPR player back here behind the ball, and that allows McLean the chance to try and scoop it forward on the left wing. Cut out, and a cushioned header from McLean. Schwartau can't get there. It's out of play for a throw-in to QPR. They've got themselves a bit better organised now, QPR, haven't they? A bit quicker to get men behind the ball, and Norwich are not getting the sort of joy that they were early on in the game.
Yeah, it's just sort of settled down a little bit now, hasn't it? We've had a few set pieces for QPR, a few set pieces for Norwich. Lots of endeavour and lots of work and trying to win the ball back from Norwich in the middle, and they're trying to get things going, but just need to keep that momentum up, keep that tempo up, and keep QPR on the back foot.
Benge's throw in eventually finds its way towards the halfway line, and off balance Kenny McLean chops it out of play for a QPR throw. And the QPR head coach over there, Julian Staffan, hood up, very, very animated, always pointing, shouting, gesturing. He's one of the more animated managers I've seen this season, and to good effect as well, having got his team up towards mid-table with 2 successive victories coming into this one. Burrell, their goal scorer, cushions the header out towards the right-hand side. Played up now towards Elias Chair, who just hooks one out towards the right wing. Should be dealt with by Fisher, and is, at the cost of a throw-in to QPR, level with the Norwich penalty area. Adrian Coots, our summariser today, is absolutely right. The game has settled down. It was fast and frantic for the first 20 minutes or so. But the last few minutes have been played with a bit more control, and QPR almost deliberately slowing the pace down now, because Benge is going out to take this throw-in, and he's wandered over to it. No urgency at all. He's level with the Norwich penalty area. The Senegalese right back that he got from Reading in the summer. Backs off towards the advertising hoardings. He's going to think about a long throw in here to try and test the Norwich defence. Looks like he might. Let's see. No, in the end he darts it back towards Steve Cook, the centre half. He's about halfway inside the Norwich half. High lofted ball into the penalty area from him. Headed across by Dunn. Not really dealt with by Norwich, and the shot comes in and he's driven wide as it fell towards Madsen on the edge of the penalty area. That was an interesting move, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, worked well. Norwich need to be doing better with that, and to be honest, QPR player who had the shot, couldn't see who it was, needs to be doing better with that as well, because he's got loads of time, and we're talking about 16 yards out with a free shot on goal, and he's not hit the target, so Norwich quite lucky there.
Madsen, the Danish midfielder. Good play from Fisher initially on the left-hand side to get away from Dembele, and then he got his feet in a tangle and ran it out of play for a throw-in. Philippe Clement is saying, offering a bit of feedback on what he might have done differently in that situation.
Didn't take him off.
No, I don't think we're at that point yet. QPR working it nicely on the right hand side, and then Sato is flagged offside. The two QPR defenders we've not mentioned yet, Jimmy Dunn and Steve Cook. Really a lot of experience there. Cook 34 now, player who was part of that Bournemouth team that got up to the Premier League, had a spell at Nottingham Forest as well. Jimmy Dunn, former Burnley player. There's a lot of experience there for Josh Sargent to try and get the better of by himself today. 1-1. McLean for Norwich City. Plays it back to one of Norwich's central defenders, Harry Darling. He's played every league game so far this season. Is Darling onto Fisher. Schwartau now hits it forward early and picks out the Norwich goal scorer Marcondes. Nice pass to McLean, who'd read it well, and he comes forward on the left-hand side, but just gets tackled at the vital moment as he was thinking about a ball into the box. But scruffy defending from QPR, and Norwich get a throw.
Yeah, he lost the ball, but did well to put enough pressure on to not make the next QPR pass easy, and they've ended up passing it out for a
Fisher's cross into the penalty area, dealt with. Madsen trying to keep the pressure on. Flicked header then from Marcondes out towards the left wing. Norwich with Marcondes and Schwartau working hard to keep possession. Very tight over on that side of the pitch though, so Norwich have switched it back towards halfway. Quick feet from Madsen. Back to Harry Darling. Norwich changed the angle of the attack now with Jack Stacey on the right hand side, who's been such a good outlet for them at times this season, but no route forward for him this time, so it's gone to McConville. And now McLean over towards the left hand side for Norwich City as they look to try and get back in front in the game. Held on to by Schwartau, quickly played towards McLean if he can get there ahead of Varane, and he does from the byline on the left, clips out the cross, headed away. Fisher on the edge of the penalty area will shoot low straight at the goalkeeper. Kellen Fisher still looking for his first Norwich goal, game number 72 today.
Yeah, McLean did well there, initially keeping the ball alive, then to get the cross in. I think it was Marcondes at the front post, got the flick on, and then Kellen Fisher shot on target. Quite easy save for the keeper in the end, but
at the other end, Burrell onto Sato, right corner of the penalty area for QPR. Three players in the box for Sato. Schwartau's with him, but Sato's going to take him on and get the cross in, and Madsen has to block it, and behind it goes for a corner. I think this is the thing with Norwich City, isn't it? That there's no fear factor about playing Norwich this season. Teams know that you don't need to come to Carrow Road and stand on ceremony. You can get at Norwich.
Yeah. And from this position, I mean, you look back to the last two goals Norwich have conceded, it's from that sort of a build-up, out wide on the QPR right, and just skipping past the player, getting the ball low into the box, and somebody tapping it into the bottom corner. But Norwich got another corner to defend.
No left backs fit for Norwich at the moment. Remember, Kellen Fisher doing a job on the wrong side of the pitch, but it does feel that side has been an issue for them this season. 1-1. Corner to QPR, right hand side, played in high, and it's headed down by Dunn into the 6-yard box, and there was an attempted back heel from Varane,
and a flag.
But it's collected by Kovacevic. You're saying that wouldn't have counted?
No.
I didn't spot the flag, but keeper did his job. Madsen, rare mistake in this game, he's given it away to Madsen on the left hand side for QPR, crosses into the box, McConville gets his head to it. Fisher needs to complete the clearance here against Dembele, and does so, and Benge catches up with the ball, and QPR have got it back. Just a little bit ragged there from Norwich after a fairly positive start to the game. 1-1 it is. Here's Cook, the 34-year-old at the back for QPR. Now it's a long ball forward from halfway that Kovacevic, the Norwich goalkeeper, will gather and roll out to McConville. Now Jack Stacey in the right back position for Norwich City. Back again to Rory McConville. 1-1 on BBC Radio Norfolk, nearly half an hour gone. Here's Harry Darling. And McConville. Norwich with possession, halfway inside their own half. We'll keep you up to date at half-time with all of our local games today, as well as the scores in the Championship. And we're now at the stage of the season when we're beginning to know who Norwich's rivals are going to be in terms of the close positions in the Championship. Sadly, this season it's the bottom of the table we're focusing on rather than the upper reaches. But other teams' results only really matter if Norwich do their bit. McLean, nice pass forward to Marcondes. Marcondes trying to lay it on towards Sargent, who could be in here for Norwich City, just gets tackled and the ball loops up and behind, and it's a corner. Sargent hasn't scored since the end of August. He's just waiting for something to fall for him.
I still think there was just a little tap on his ankles as he was about to pull the trigger. I'll have to have a little look again, but it just... maybe not. But, yeah.
Well, corner to Norwich. Now, they have fashioned a goal from a corner already in this game. They could do with another. 1-1. Schwartau, with half an hour gone, with his right foot, he's going to whip this one in towards the QPR goal. At least that's the plan. He's gone deep towards the far post. Marcondes coming in on it, and he so nearly got there. It's been headed behind. He must have got there because the goal kick has been
led
given
with his
right
arm
in
a
the
little
corner.
bit as well.
Yeah, he's gone right into the QPR player, hasn't he? Goal kick. But actually, set pieces look like the best route to goal, don't they, for both sides in this game. The two goals, if you're just joining us, Norwich in front after 8 minutes through Marcondes. Lovely finish after a corner wasn't dealt with. But just a couple of minutes later, it's a real elbow that from Marcondes, wasn't it? Led with his arm, jumped into Sam Field, went for the ball. I don't think there was any intent in it. He was going for the ball, but the way he jumped, the elbow was up. Burrell equalised for QPR with a tap in after Norwich had failed to clear a corner. So set piece good at one end, but not defending them at the other.
Yeah, and and that is all it takes sometimes. Norwich could go on and have 85% possession for the rest of the game, but they could be vulnerable to one set piece and then end up not getting anything out of the game. So they've got to be wary of that. But we just haven't had the ball in QPR third as much as we did in the first 15 or so minutes.
It was a bright start for Norwich, but haven't had a real clear-cut chance for a while. But now they've hurried QPR into the clearance, and it's been picked up by McLean halfway inside the QPR half. Puts a ambitious ball forward that the defender Field probably could have left, but actually decided to head it and went to head it back to his goalkeeper and got that all wrong and has headed it behind. And Norwich have a corner, which they're going to take quickly, are they? No, Marcondes thought about it. He's going to let McLean go over and try and put some more quality into the box here as Norwich look to try and get themselves back in front. Philippe Clement watching over on the far side, taking a long swig from a plastic water bottle as he watches his skipper Kenny McLean place the ball in the quadrant, deliver the corner into the penalty area, and he's gone in! Norwich City are back in front! McLean's corner, it bounced in the 6-yard box and it's been turned in. No one's really claiming it. I think it's gone in off a defender, but all of the credit is going to Kenny McLean for a brilliant delivery from the corner into the 6-yard box. One touch takes it into the net, and Norwich City are back in front, 2-1.
Yeah, great. And again, from another corner, I say give it to Josh Sargent and just let him get on with his goal scoring. But yeah, I think Norwich have been the better team in this game. Disappointed they conceded so quickly after their first goal, but now got themselves back in front. So, well, OG.
Yeah, delivery from McLean into a packed 6-yard box. It bounces and it's it's done in there. Is looking accusingly at one of his teammates, Mbenge, and one of them has turned it in. Probably Mbenge, I think, who just puts his hands up as if to say, oh. And he took it away from Dunn, didn't he, who I think was going to deal with it. And Mbenge, I think it is, who's put that into his own net. But again, Norwich have doubled their goal tally at the Barclay end this afternoon. Only two before today. They've now got 4.
What's not positive about that?
There you go. This is more like it. Norwich in front, but it's amazing, isn't it? They created loads and loads of chances the other night and couldn't take them. That one, you just put the ball in the penalty area and you never know.
Yeah, and again, we talked about not being able to control the results and everything that's gone on before. The new manager's come in. He's had hardly any time in terms of getting everything he wants across. But in the 2 home games we've had, we've definitely seen an increase in the number of chances, and that was one of our worries prior to that, was where the goals are going to come from. And I know we haven't been putting those chances away, but we've had times where we've not even been creating them, and that's been even more worrying. So today, this game, at least, we've managed to convert 2 of our chances, and we're only in the first half. So
Norwich 2, QPR 1, an own goal, giving Norwich the lead for the second time. Brilliant delivery from Kenny McLean, though. Put the corner right into the 6-yard box. Dunn and Mbenge arriving, and I think Dunn almost went to clear it and put it against Mbenge. Now QPR with Sato giving the ball away, and Schwartau carries it into opposition territory, finds Marcondes, quickly to Sargent on the edge of the area. Forson's joining the attack, edge of the box, curling effort! Yes. He scored! A man called Forson! Norwich City have got a 3-1 lead! A great sweeping counter-attack, and Forson goes over to the snake pit and jumps high in the air, because the Canaries have got a 2-goal advantage, a flowing move, and it's Norwich City 3, QPR 1.
Yeah, I loved everything about that move. The way we moved it down the left-hand side, the passing, the sharpness of it. Josh Sargent, thought about getting the ball out of his feet and taking a shot, laid it across to Forson. He's cut inside onto his left, and the finish, side foot little curl using the defender to bend the ball around, keeper unsighted. What a lovely goal.
Such a well-taken goal by Amanka Forson, who only came into the starting lineup when Jovan Makama reported for duty ill. Norwich have scored twice in 3 minutes, and suddenly I'm looking at the Barclay end, and there are supporters in the bottom tier of the Barclay jumping up and down. Even the yellow and green flags have come out.
Is this the day? Come out and everything.
Is this the day that Norwich City finally win a home game this season? There's a long way to go yet, Adrian Coope, but it is 3-1. This is not a position Norwich have been in much this season. What a finish.
And Phil Daly's pointing to his watch and saying there's lots of the game to go, and that is right, but we haven't been in this position for quite a long time, so let's at least enjoy it while we can.
Norwich City had only scored 2 goals at the Barclay end this season. We keep telling you this before today. They've got 3 in the space of 35 minutes against QPR. But they've got to keep their heads. They've got to make sure they don't do anything silly now. Here's Elias Chair on the left-hand side for QPR, who is flagged offside. Of course, when Norwich went 1-0 up through Marcondes, there was another goal straight after, with Burrell equalising. This time they've gone in front, and there's been another goal straight afterwards, but it's another one for Norwich City, and so important, so important, that third goal.
Yeah, I've 3 goals in a game. I can't remember the last time.
Well, this is nobody's getting carried away,
no.
But it's such a... You can just feel...
I am a little bit, because I just don't know if I'm ever going to experience this again, but no, I know I will, and I just...
Well,
I hope we don't sit back, and we've been critical in the past of getting ourselves into a decent position and then being a little bit unsure about how to kind of proceed with the remaining part of the game. I just hope we keep on the front foot, and it's QPR that've got to do something different, because they've got to go and find 2 goals just to get back into the game.
A really good goal from Forson. Great work from Schwartau on the counter-attack into Sargent, and Sargent worked it beautifully into the path of Forson, who seemed to use the defender in front of him really well, just to curl it round into the far corner. A really nicely taken goal that gets Norwich into a 3-1 lead against QPR. Here's Fisher to Maatsen on halfway, back to Rory McConville. McConville, the tall, slim Norwich City centre-back. On the ball, City ringing out with a little bit of belief and a little bit of gusto at Carrow Road as Jack Stacey comes forward on the right-hand side. Forson's made the run in front of him. Crosses from the right. Stacey heads it on, and it's cleared away by Jimmy Dunn at the back for QPR. McLean nods it to McConville. McConville squares it to Harry Darling on halfway. Norwich are not sitting back on this 3-1 lead. Schwartau, lovely turn, takes him past Mbenge. Schwartau, corner of the penalty area for Norwich City. He hits a shot which is charged down and bounces away, and Marcondes keeps it alive. And was he caught there? No, it's gone out of play for a throw-in to QPR. And Mbenge not having a great time of it at the moment. I'm pretty sure it was he who scored the own goal to give Norwich a 2-1 lead, and he was absolutely beaten all ends up there by Oscar Schwartau, wasn't he?
Yeah, Schwartau again. I've just, with him, just seen how he sort of drifts across from out wide and just tries to pull on the fullback. He sort of pulls him in and then tries to pull him back out again and just plays on his shoulder. And there's been a few little opportunities where diagonal ball or just over the fullback's head to Schwartau to pick up, and haven't seen that from him before. And he seems to be in this game. He seems to be well used. And I know on Tuesday night it was different. It felt like it was all down one side for large parts of the game, and when you've got Makama, then that's understandable, but it just seems a bit more balanced. Forson's been involved, Svartau's been involved, Marcondes has been on the ball, McLean and Maatsen, winning the ball and then getting the ball forward. It feels like up until now that this has been a decent performance.
3-1. Norwich have played well and got the goals to show for it. That's the key. 3-1 up at Carrow Road. Darling hoists one forward for Sargent to jump and help on. Should be cleared by Field and is. But Fisher will allow that to bounce out for a throw in. Svartau, this is the 12th game in a row that he started. I don't think he's naturally a winger, but he's been having to do a job on the left-hand side because of the lack of options Norwich have got in that position. And he's only 19, but you just want to see a player improving, don't you, and growing, and signs of it just recently. Certainly a telling contribution for the Forson goal when he led the team forward on the counter. McConville drops one forward on the right-hand side, looking for Forson, and he's found him, but Forson couldn't quite control it, and it's gone out of play for a throw-in. Lovely finish from Forson. Remember, he shouldn't have been in the team today, but Makama turned up ill, and Philippe Clement sent him home and said, look, we don't want any illness in the squad, we'll play Forson. And that's what you want, someone to take a chance that maybe wouldn't otherwise have come their way.
Yeah.
Now, slightly ragged defending from QPR, but Varane has done well to pass it out to the right-hand side. And Bengay charging forward, heavy touch. Fisher makes a good block tackle. Maatsen picks up the loose ball, and Bengay still down after that Callum Fisher challenge. Now here's Kenny McLean, wide to Stacey. There's a QPR player out of the game, the fullback and Bengay, but Norwich are not showing any sympathy. They're attacking more with Forson. Stacey on the overlap, his cross, chance! Marcondes couldn't quite get there. It's gone behind, and it's going to be, remember he did get there, goal kick's been given, and then Bengay, who was just felled in that last challenge by Callum Fisher, can now get some treatment. He was absolutely cleaned out by Fisher. It's not been a great afternoon for him, Bengay. No. An own goal, beaten a couple of times by Svartau, and now down injured.
Yeah, I wonder if this is him just taking a moment just to ground himself a little bit. Well, I'll tell you what also I'd like to see, and before half-time if possible, so if anybody's in any of the stands listening on BBC Radio Norfolk on their phone or their headsets, because we haven't seen that at Carrow Road for a long time, when we start passing the ball to each other, then ole, ole, with each pass that we pass. Because I feel like we're in that position now, and it's never been done here in the first half. And I think, why not?
It's very, very early on in the game. There's quite a moody sky above Carrow Road at the moment. The sun setting and the clouds being blown over by the wind. Quite a setting we've got in front of us here. And we've got the two sets of players all over on the far side. I can see Philippe Clement's neck is going up and down as he makes the points to his new charges. His opposite number, Julien Stéphan, he's trying to get a response out of his QPR players. We can see the magic spray going on to the QPR player Bengay.
Fisher just wanted it more.
Was Fisher a little fortunate here? He really threw himself into the challenge. I think he got the ball, but it was two-footed, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a lunge or a dive. It was more of like a two-footed sort of block with his shins. But
probably just about the right side of a block tackle.
I think so. Yeah. But just on the manager, and obviously we spoke already about the events at the end of Tuesday with Mate. Like, the wider impact that will have in terms of just sitting at the back of the minds of the other players. And I'm not saying that that's the reason why things are, how they are today, but there seems to be like a real intensity to closing down, and those really horrible bits that you got to do in a game just to kind of build a bit of momentum and stuff like that. And so, as a player, you're thinking, gosh, that's happened. You'd almost consciously be thinking about it for the first few games. I need to really be doing this through fear of that same thing happening to them. Do you know what I mean? And what you then see is a collective effort, or the collective effect of everybody, real intensity, close the ball back, winning the ball back, then getting the ball forward and stuff like that. It doesn't feel like we're carrying anyone today, and there's no one shirking anything.
It's funny how goals can really change the way you feel about a game, because against Oxford, Norwich probably created more chances in the second half than they have done today, but they didn't take them. Today they've had an own goal go their way, and a lovely finish from Forson, which wasn't a clear-cut chance, but because they're winning 3-1, it feels like they're more intense. It feels like they're more on top. And Bengay is just being led off towards the side of the pitch after that spray was sprayed onto his shin. There's no substitute ready by the looks of it, so I think he is going to come back on in a moment. But we'll restart with a QPR goal kick. We're in the final minute of the first half, but there will be a bit of stoppage time. And it is Norwich City 3, Queen's Park Rangers 1.
Do you believe in lucky co-commentators?
If it was that simple, I've been doing this job long enough, QT. If I really felt we could influence it, we would be by now. But no, if only it were that simple. But Adrian Coote's here, taking your calls afterwards on Canary Call. And is he going to be the first Canary co-commentator to do a Canary Call after a home win this season? Let's see. There's a lot of football to be played, and a lot of Norwich fans who are scarred by previous journeys and previous winning positions. But they're 3-1 up here, and that's all we can say. And Bengay, has he come back on? No, he's still off over on the far side. So they're still down to 10. 5 minutes of first half stoppage time. Here's Tau looking to take advantage of that gap left by Bengay. Played to McLean now, halfway inside the QPR half. Cries of shoot from the Norwich fans who remember his Scotland heroics. And Bengay is now back on. And QPR are back up to 11, but Norwich are passing it around, and McLean has played it into the penalty area. Marcondes with a positive run. Oh, clash of heads there. It's cleared. As far as Maatsen, bouncing ball, and the referee's got to stop it. He's got no choice, because you saw that Marcondes thundered into another aerial challenge with Jimmy Dunn, and Dunn is still rubbing the top of his head. And I know the crowd are booing, but the referee's got no choice there. He has to stop it.
Yeah. It's open to misuse, that rule, let's just say. You know, if I was a centre-half and we were under a bit of pressure and I had a challenge like that, then I'd be going down holding my head and relying on the ref to stop it. I'm not saying that's what's happened there.
But look, there's obviously some blood, because he's told Dunn to go off.
Yeah.
So he's having stopped the game. It's ended up with QPR actually having a centre-half off the field. Yeah. And Norwich being given possession. You can't blame the ref.
No, that is the rule. That is the rule. And, you know, as you say, there are situations where it's genuine and stuff. And
now Dunn is off the field. And QPR are a defender down. 5 minutes of stoppage time signalled. Darling plays the ball towards Fisher on the left-hand side. Tau in front of him. Back to Callum Fisher. Fisher plays it infield. McConville gets it. Everyone back behind the ball for QPR. Still a player short, though, and still a centre-half off the field. McLean tries to slip it into the penalty area. It's been cleared away. McLean gathers it again. Now Dunn can come back on to join the defensive effort, but he's having to watch Forson on the right-hand side, level with the penalty area, cuts it back here towards Marcondes. Now Forson, back to Kenny McLean on the right. McLean now gets it onto his left foot, sends the ball towards the far post. Tau coming around the back, heads it down and behind, but there's a little bit of confidence developing now about the way Norwich are playing. Yeah, you know, patient possession just in that right-hand corner, worked a crossing opportunity, decent ball hanging up at the far post. Jumped early, was it Tau? Yeah, it was,
jumped early, just couldn't get decent contact on the header, and just going back to that injury, I think it's 30 seconds now, isn't it? They have to go off for and they can't come on before.
Yeah.
So it must have felt like ages for the player waiting there.
And they don't tend to let them come back on again while the ball's in the position that they can directly affect it either. So we're in first half stoppage time. Norwich are 3-1 up, and Marcondes has found Forson. One pass to Jack Stacey on the right-hand side. Here come Norwich again. Forson outside him, rides one challenge, but not a second. An emphatic tackle won by Sam Field, the QPR left back. Here's Darling for Norwich City. Exchanges passes with Callum Fisher on halfway. Bobbly pass back there towards McConville. And now McLean very nearly gives the ball away, but it's falling for Norwich today. Gets a deflection in favour of Marcondes, and then Maatsen goes down. Maatsen's really put himself about in this first half, and he's won a free kick. We've got still a couple of minutes to go before half-time. Phil will update you on all the other latest scores at half-time, and we'll update you on exactly what this does to Norwich City. They're going to be in the bottom three today, whatever, but just all the fans wanted to see was signs of life this week, and if they can end the week with 4 points at home, it would feel like potentially the start of something, but there's an awful lot of work still to do. There's an awful lot of work still to do today, but they are 3-1 up against QPR with those first half goals from Marcondes, an own goal, and then Forson, the last two coming in the space of 3 minutes to give Norwich a 2-goal cushion as we head towards half-time. Here's Harry Darling for Norwich City, the defender. Finds McConville deep inside his own half, under pressure, back to Kenny McLean. McLean halfway inside his own half. Simple pass to Harry Darling. Darling to Callum Fisher. And Fisher now goes back to the goalkeeper Kovacevic, who takes a touch, and it does feel as if Norwich are now just trying to see this one out to half-time with a minute to go. Kovacevic floats the ball forward. Simple header on there for Marcondes. I think he actually had a bit of time to bring that ball down and under control, but it's ended up with Fisher. And now Harry Darling And Norwich are keeping possession. Maatsen, lovely quick pass to Marcondes, who hits one over the top to Forson, and it's bounced exactly in his path. This is a great bit of play from Norwich City. Forson's got Stacey in front of him. He cuts it back, but just couldn't get enough on it. Good defending from QPR to put him under pressure, and they clear it away. But that was a wonderful move from Norwich City. And then Burrell fouls Maatsen, and Norwich have a free kick. What a pass from Marcondes. Over to the right-hand side to Forson. Now Jimmy Dunn's down again inside his own penalty area. You can
just imagine they're feeling really up against it, this QPR team at the moment. I mean, they're all taking the opportunity to just have a little bit of a breather. But yeah, again, really well worked, one side to the other really quickly. I wonder if we see that at 0-0 or 1-1 or...
It's actually Field who's down. I should say it's not Dunn who went down before, it's Sam Field who's down this time, having blocked the cross from Stacey. So we are now in the 6th minute of time added on at the end of the half. Norwich have got a free kick, and I imagine the referee will give them time to take it, otherwise what's the point? He might as well blow half-time now.
Yeah. I don't want one to pass it to the other and we keep the ball, let the ref blow the whistle. I mean, they're not going to get another opportunity to get an attack on goal with the time that's left. So let's just have one last go at sticking the ball in the box and see if we can make something else happen.
Vivid purple sky above Carrow Road. And a free kick for Norwich City in the final stages of this first half, leading as they do by 3-1 on BBC Radio Norfolk. And they might have a chance for another one before half-time. Field is being led over to the far side. It's taking a long time for him to get off the field, having had the treatment. He's got to go off.
Yeah.
Whether he'll return for the second half or not, I don't know, but there's no point making a change now. They might as well wait until half-time. But Kenny McLean is going to try from tight to the touchline on the right. He's going to try and curl this in from halfway inside the QPR half towards the penalty area. There's the delivery, curling. McConville trying to get underneath it, headed up in the air by a defender, and then back by another defender, and behind for a corner. Well, there might still be another chance for Norwich City at the end of this half, as we have now played 6.5 minutes of time added on.
Been really good with corners today. I wonder if that's something that he's looked at, and just because it feels like every delivery has come in with purpose. And
Norwich have got 3 goals already, and now they have a corner in first half stoppage time from the left-hand side, which Oscar Schwartau is going to take with his right foot. Driven in under the crossbar, goalkeeper's punched it away, and it's the final action of a first half, the like of which we've not really seen at Carrow Road this season. QPR are feeling the need to make 3 changes at the interval, 3 substitutions. Sam Fields went down injured towards the end of that first half. He's not come out for the start of the second half. Reece Norrington-Davies have. They've also brought on Michael Frey, who's a striker who's scored against Norwich before, his first goal for QPR, and Paul Smith has come on as well, who scored the winner against Blackburn in midweek. The ball is in the Norwich penalty area. McConville dealing with it. Norwich now defending the Barclay end, 3-1 up. I'll complete the details of those substitutions in a moment, but suffice to say, Adrian Coote, the fact that the other team have made 3 changes at half-time says a lot about Norwich City, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And you know, QPR have got to do something to come away with anything from this game, and they will throw stuff at Norwich that they have to kind of deal with and be prepared for, but equally it will open them up a little bit, and it'll be interesting to see how Norwich play that. Well,
a long throw in there, literally throwing stuff at Norwich from the start of the second half. This one chopped away though by Sargent, and he's cleared the danger. Kadi Dembele is the other player coming off on the right hand side. That's where Smith is playing. Frey has gone down the middle, so it's almost a 4-4-2 now by the looks of it for QPR, with Frey going up alongside Burrell. Just to complete that change for you. So Norwich, we'll go through the teams in a moment actually, with Norwich 3-1 up and in possession, with Harry Darling in front of the Barclay end. Plays it upfield, returned by QPR towards Frey, big shaven-headed centre forward. It'll be cleared by Fisher this time for Norwich City. Launches it high towards halfway. Jimmy Dunn wins the header comfortably on halfway. Helped on by Varane, control here by McLean. He gets it back towards McConville, and McConville finds Jack Stacey on the right-hand side. Forson, who got the 3rd goal for Norwich, in front of him, holding off the challenge well initially and sticking to his task well and doing brilliantly in the end there. Really good play as the ball is played back towards the Norwich defence. And Darling, 3-1 Norwich lead. For those just joining us, I'll round up what you might have missed in a moment and remind you of the lineups. But Darling's just swiped the ball upfield for Norwich. Marcondes beaten to it this time by Jonathan Varane. He passed it to Elias Chair, onto Varane once more, back to Chair, who on his day is a really talented player, Elias Chair. the Moroccan international. Now it's Mbenge, who scored an own goal in the first half, coming forward from right back. He's got Smith in front of him. Smith might get goal side of Fisher, and has. Cuts it back, blocked by Pelle Madsen, and that's a corner to QPR. But QPR have come out on the front foot here as well. They might, because they're 3-1 down. Norwich still have Kovacevic in goal. Stacey, McConville, Darling and Fisher at the back. Matson and McLean in midfield, with Marcondes in the number 10 position. And then Forson wide right, Schwartau wide left, Sargent up front. Marcondes put them in front. Borrell equalised on 11 minutes. And an own goal from Mbenge, and 2 minutes later, Amanko Forson's lovely finish had Norwich 3-1 up. In the first half, though, there were 3 of the 4 goals from set pieces. And we've got a QPR corner now, which Elias Chair will take from the right-hand side and will play into the Norwich penalty area. There's a free header up and over the top from Steve Cook. QPR now have Nardi in goal, and Bengate, Dunn and Cook at the back, with Norrington Davis playing at left back. Varane and Madsen in midfield, with Frey and Borrell up front, and Chair playing on one wing, and Paul Smith on the other.
Yeah, I just seen how the first couple of minutes have started, and just that idea, I got a bit carried away in the first half because we were 3-1 up and I was just enjoying the moment. But on a serious note, you know, if QPR get a goal in the next 10 or 15 minutes, you know,
it makes
becomes that typical, you know, that Norwich dilemma again, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? Whereas if we go and get ourselves a 4th goal, I think, you know, that's the end of QPR in terms of their business today. But they've just got to be wary. You know, I'm not panicked, and we're in a really good position, but goals change games.
And Chair on the left-hand side, left edge of the penalty area, looking to try and get them back into it early in the second half. Norrington Davis with a high looping cross from the left-hand side. Frey is jumping. There's a push in the penalty area on one of the Norwich defenders, Matson. And Norwich get the free kick. Yeah, Michael Frey, who's come on up front, hasn't scored yet this season. Swiss international, got his first goal for QPR against Norwich back in February 2024, and they've gone with 2 up front. So QPR now are going to have a go at this, aren't they? They're 3-1 down. They're going to try and see if they can put what must be a shaky Norwich team. I know they're winning this game, but we know how much they've struggled this season. They're going to try and really test Norwich's mettle, as Darling is pulled back there by Frey, and Norwich get a free kick. You made a really good point there, QC. I think the first 15-20 minutes of this half is so crucial, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, they're going to try and throw a lot at Norwich, and you know, we've got to show a little bit of character and a little bit of strength and defending and kind of weather that, but equally we've got to try and be effective on the attack as well, because if they're...
Harry Darling plays the free kick straight to Elias Chair, and that was a mistake that Norwich might be punished for, because Norrington Davis is coming forward on the left-hand side, the Welsh international. That's the sort of sloppy error that Norwich cannot afford to make. Chair cutting in with pace from the left-hand side, playing it along the side into the penalty area. Good sliding tackle there from Jack Stacey, and McConville's able to bring the ball away and clear it. Good defending from Norwich after they'd initially played themselves under pressure. Sargent trying to hold it up on halfway. He's outnumbered by blue and white hooped shirts. Norwich in yellow and green. They have at least pressed QPR back to their French goalkeeper Paul Nardi, who with the right foot puts it out of play for a throw in. That sloppy mistake there by Harry Darling. It's just made everybody take stock of where Norwich are in the game.
Yeah, and just a chance to settle it down. I do want to see us keep that attacking momentum as well. You know, we have got to be a bit sensible with it. There needs to be a balance, but...
Late challenge there on Stacey. He's played the ball. His Chair has then left the foot in on him, and Stacey's absolutely crumpled to the floor, and Norwich will get a free kick. Haven't had a card yet in this game. Referee Lewis Smith is one of those that's on the fast track system at the moment. He's refereed games in National North and National South this season, but he's also refereed QPR earlier this month when they drew 0-0 with Sheffield United. Really late one there from Chair on Stacey. I think he's rather fortunate not to get the first yellow card of the game. But anyway, Norwich have a free kick inside their own half, right-hand side. McConville thinks about taking it quickly, now decides to settle back. Just seen the Norwich physios come to the side of the pitch and try and have a word with somebody. Forson they were talking to, not quite sure. Keep an eye on that. Oh, Stacey's just gone down again, having felt that challenge, and I do think there might be a bit of a concern here for the Norwich fullback. They can't have another injury.
Gosh.
QT, there's a... With McCarmer reporting ill for this game today, that's 11 players Norwich are missing. And Stacey doesn't look particularly clever here. He's now in a seated position on the pitch over on the far side.
Interesting to write them 11 players down on a piece of paper and see if we could put them into an injured 11.
You haven't got a goalkeeper, so you'd struggle.
Okay.
But you could certainly have a decent 10 outfield players. While Stacey's down, I'll tell you. McCarmer's ill, then you've got Liam Gibbs, Ben Crescene, Ante Sionats, Papa Amadou Diallo, Anis Ben Slimani, Miko Topic, Jeffrey Schlupp, Jose Cordoba, Gabriel Forsyth and Lucien Mahovo all out for Norwich at the moment. And now maybe Jack Stacey as well. I think they need a sub. I think they are going to need a sub here. Kenny McLean is joining in, asking somebody to come back to the bench, and Stacey's gone down the tunnel. This is a real worry. Hobbler. This is another injury for Norwich City, and that one was just a sort of nasty late challenge from Elias Chair. So I don't think it's one that you can pin on any lack of fitness or anything like that.
No. And it, given where we are in the game, it might be a cautious one. Although I say that, we're talking about how vital the next goal and the next passage of 20 minutes is going to be. But don't need to take any risk with him, and there's a player that he's happy to bring on then.
But he hasn't. They're playing with 10 at the moment, aren't they? The standing right back will be Callum Fisher, but he's playing left back. Matson scoops one out towards the right-hand side and finds McLean. He's managed to work it on towards Forson. In the penalty area, Forson for Norwich City sets up Schwartau, but no, it's cleared. Matson from the edge of the box, bouncing shot, deflected wide, and Norwich will get a goal kick. It was bouncing, it was deflected, it's gone wide. Norwich need to get a sub on here. Kenny McLean's dropped into right back. Is it Shane Duffy, I think, might be getting ready? Oh, mistake by Mbenge, just to give the ball back to Norwich City. Just when Norwich were down to 10. QPR not taking the opportunity to get at them. So I wonder what Norwich will do here. McConville is going to have to go and play fullback, isn't he? I would imagine.
Yeah.
As the ball is played forward by McLean. I think they're just trying to get it as far away from the Norwich goal as possible while they're down to 10.
Forson's feet, he's just got lovely feet, the way he glides past players, and it would have been really easy for him to kind of show that bit of skill and then in a sort of headless moment pull the trigger from a tight angle, but he had the composure to try and square the ball back as well, and it was just unlucky, just not enough on the pass, but did really, really well there for me.
Yeah, he did.
And he's had a really good game.
Yeah, but brought in because of the illness to Makama. I don't think he would have started otherwise.
And that's what you talk about, players taking opportunities when they get them for whatever the reasons and stuff, and we wish Makama well and look forward to seeing him back in the squad. But what a plus that has been for Norwich. Norwich
are still down to 10. Shane Duffy's ready to come on, but the ball hasn't gone out of play. Marcondes deep inside his own half, finding Fisher on the left-hand side. Fisher's been dispossessed by Smith. Burrell coming forward on the right for QPR. Matson busting a gut to get back at him. He's managed to get the cross in. Scrambled away by McConville. Kenny McLean filling in at right back for Norwich at the moment. Who are down to 10 temporarily. Here's Elias Chair, whose challenge has put Jack Stacey out of the game. Norrington Davis on the left-hand side. Back to Chair. Norrington Davis. Great tackle from Forson. Sargent trying to make sure it stays up the field. But Elias Chair has managed to shrug him off and get possession back for QPR. Here's Varane from a central position. Works it towards the right corner of the penalty area for Paul Smith. His cross into the Norwich box. Chopped away by Kenny McLean. Sargent back helping out defensively. Matson gets a foot to it. All hands to the pump for Norwich, but it's fallen for Paul Smith on the QPR right. Takes on his man, gets to the byline, delivers a cross towards the far post. Two players coming in on it. Norwich get the first header. Forson gets the second header, and Marcondes will clear it away and will get fouled. And Norwich can now make the substitution. And they were hanging on a bit there with 10 men, but they did the job.
A little bit, and obviously the crowd recognising that as well and doing their bit to get behind the players. And for a moment there, I don't know, 20-30 seconds, it was like Forson and Josh Sargent were just sort of single-handedly pinning them outside of the box and stopping the ball from coming in. They're backwards and forwards doing doggies, each of them, and they, as a result, nearly ended up winning the ball back and breaking away. But I mean, that's the sort of effort and that's the sort of mindset that the new manager is looking for. Not just the new manager, we want to see it. The fans, and rightly so, they've gotten behind and shown their appreciation for that, because there will be times in this half where Norwich will be really up against it because they're holding on to a 3-1 lead.
And here's Duffy on at centre back. Rory McConville has gone to play right back for Norwich City now. Here's Matson playing the ball up towards halfway, looking for Marcondes, not quite finding him though. It's been intercepted by QPR. Burrell scampering forward on the right. Oh, Darling, Marcondes it is, actually comes across with him. Oh, it's Darling, and Darling wins it and then gets dragged back. And
that'll be your first booking.
That should be the first booking for Romain Burrell, and right on cue, the referee remembers his yellow cards, and Burrell gets a booking. I thought Elias Chair was rather fortunate not to get it for the challenge that we now know has ended Jack Stacey's after.
Yeah. I'd like to see it again because the angle wasn't a great one. He definitely caught him and it was definitely late. This one, just frustration. I think Darling's too strong for him. He's come away with the ball and the QPR player hasn't got it in him to track him back, so he takes the easy option in the foul, and unfortunately for him it's going to cost him a yellow card and 12 quid.
11 minutes gone in the second half.
That's a foul.
Too much going on in the second half in terms of chances. As Sargent looked like he was being grappled with there by the QPR centre-back, but it hasn't been given as a foul, as you heard from the crowd reaction at Carrow Road. Here's Michael Frey for QPR. Norrington Davis has added a different dimension to QPR at left back. Crosses early, blocked by Forson, who chased him back willingly, and it's a QPR throw. Norrington Davis takes it, gets it to Chair. on that left-hand side. Slows the game down as Elias Chair then cuts in and delivers early into the Norwich penalty area. Frey's header just wide. Decent early ball in from Chair. West Brom have got back to 2-2 against Swansea. Swansea were 2-0 up at half-time. 2 goals in the first 7 minutes of the second half from Hegebo up front for West Brom. That's 2-2. And also Sheffield Wednesday, the team below Norwich in the table, are now pegged back to 2-2 by Preston as well. Lewis Dobbin has scored that, who was on loan with Norwich last season. I think there's a few Norwich fans wondering why that move wasn't made permanent, but it wasn't. And Norwich 3-1 up here against QPR. Yeah, he's got a few goals, really got injured. And we thought he probably would sign again, but it didn't happen. 3-1, Norwich lead against QPR at Carrow Road. Not many opportunities for either side in the second half. Maatsen plays the ball up towards halfway. Sargent spins away and then, under pressure, manages to work the ball to McConville. Sargent now staying down, but Norwich will continue the attack without him. And it's Forson on the right-hand side to Schwartau. Back to Forson, 25 yards out. Takes a heavy touch, but now gathers and finds Marcondes in the penalty area. Marcondes almost looking for Sargent, wondering where he is. He's still down injured. Gets the cross in. It's headed up and away. Sargent now he's back up on his feet. Maatsen works it back into the penalty area. Doesn't fall for a yellow shirt. Now, Norwich have lost Stacey to injury. They lost McCarmer to illness, and now Sargent is hobbling around. Yeah.
And that just comes from putting his body on the line and throwing himself into winning the ball, and as a result, Norwich have got an attack from it, and it seems that he's going to be okay. I thought initially it was his arm or his hand he was holding, but he's hobbling a little bit, so...
Well, Norwich won't want to lose him. I know he hasn't scored since Norwich's last win at the end of August, but goodness, you feel so much better about Norwich's chances with Sargent out there, even despite the recent lack of goals. It's just his work rate for the team, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he's staying out there, no sign of a change. We've played almost the hour, and it's Norwich City 3, Queen's Park Rangers 1 on BBC Radio Norfolk. McLean chasing QPR down here, and Bengay, the fullback, plays it back to Dunn, who goes all the way back to his goalkeeper Nardi. Good hustling from Norwich City there. Nardi, the goalkeeper, with a high one towards halfway. Frey battling for it. Pelle Maatsen wins it. It's a really good afternoon so far in that midfield as Pelle Maatsen. And here's Shane Duffy on as a sub for Norwich, finding Darling. A wide to Fisher on the left-hand side. Fisher goes back to Harry Darling here. And Darling will give it to Shane Duffy on the edge of his own penalty area. Norwich leading by 3-1. McConville finds the opportunity to get it up towards Sargent here along the ground. Sargent to Marcondes. Schwartau's made the run in behind. Oscar Schwartau's offside. He squares it for Sargent, who scores. But the flag had gone up. The flag had long since gone up.
And you can see him looking for Sargent. He wanted him to get his goal.
Just look at Philip Clement here. I'm looking at the Norwich head coach. He's gone right over to the fourth official and he's whacking his finger in the face of the fourth official. He's saying that was not offside. But
if he is, he doesn't need to go that early. Ball, lovely weighted through ball.
Let's have a look. We've got a chance to see it again here. Schwartau go. He's onside. Look at the guy in the middle's playing him on comfortably. Anyway, Norwich go again. Sargent, edge of the penalty area, battling, holding off the challenge initially, then gets tackled, but it's going to fall for Kenny McLean, who's going to shoot high over the crossbar. That wasn't offside, was it?
They were in different halves.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm not saying he was like massively onside, but I think
he was onside.
So, you're talking like half a yard onside. It's marginal, but definitely onside from our view, and that's the thing. Obviously, you want to be playing in the Premier League. That gets ruled a goal in the Premier League because the linesman doesn't put his flag up, the ref doesn't give it. They go with the play and then they pull it back. But obviously, without the VAR in the Championship, as soon as that's given, you can't ungive it. Yeah,
I'm not sure everybody really wants VAR in the Championship. Apart from if it was available for just the last 5 minutes, Norwich would have got a goal. Chair chases the ball forward on the left-hand side for QPR. McConville makes the challenge, good one as well, and now it goes into the stands for a throw-in. I wonder how big a moment that could be. Norwich having what would have been a fourth goal ruled out. Varane is coming off now for QPR, the half-brother of the former Manchester United player Rafa Varane.
And the impact of a goal for Sargent as well.
Yeah, and the player coming on is Isaac Hayden, who had an injury-hit loan spell with Norwich City a few seasons ago. Wasn't able to really get going in a Norwich shirt. Isaac Hayden, just 14 appearances. He comes on in midfield. He did play at Carrow Road last season in a game that Portsmouth won 5-3 towards the end of Johannes Softorup's reign, his last home game in charge. Here comes Mbenge on the right-hand side for QPR, tackled by Fisher. And now the ball is worked back by Hayden, his first involvement in the game. Frey on the edge of the penalty area. Burrell cleared away by Schwartau for Norwich City. The Canaries lead 3-1. We've been playing for 61 minutes at Carrow Road. Here's Isaac Hayden, from a Newcastle player. And
what I got out of that offside, because that's the second time I've seen it from Schweizer. I think once in the first half where he had a chance to shoot on goal, but he opted to side foot it across goal in the path of Sargent. He's desperate to get Sargent a goal, you know, and that gives you then an idea of how highly Sargent is held within the dressing room.
Well, that ball went out of play off Smith, I'm sure, but the referee has given the throw in QPR's way. I mean, he's closer to us, the assistant, but from up here, I was pretty sure that went off the QPR player. Anyway, Norwich have got to just defend this now. Paul Smith lining up a long throw in here, the Northern Ireland international. We've got that goal in midweek to beat Blackburn, and he's retreated to the advertising hoardings here in front of where the QPR fans are sitting in the south stand. He's launched the throw in into the penalty area. It's been headed away well by Fisher, but QPR have now retrieved the loose ball with Steve Cook, the experienced centre-back. Curls it out towards the left wing, decent pass as well. Here's Chair taking on Forson. Forson dangles a leg, Chair beats him, high curling cross towards the far post. There's a player coming in on it, and it needs to be cleared away by Duffy, and it is. And it's another QPR throw on the right-hand side. Hang on, we've got two players off the field here in attempting to head that ball across. One of the QPR attackers has collided with Fisher, and they've both ended up off the field. And I think what's happened there is they've gone barrelling. It's Paul Smith's gone barrelling into one of the photographers down there, the cameramen. And I can see some poor camera person just regathering all of their stuff and picking it all up again, because I think they've just been
back up,
cleaned out there by Paul Smith and Callum Fisher, who are both going to be okay. And Smith, I think, will now want to take another long throw in. So if he did take, look, the camera's been completely knocked over, and the steward is now helping the camera person try and lift it back up again and put it into position. I hope the camera person's all right as well. Anyway, throw in, another long throw in, heading towards the Norwich penalty area here. 3-1 Norwich lead. Smith with it. Oh, this time he's gone short with the throw in towards Cook, and Cook will loop it into the box, and it's headed away by Norwich. Retrieved by Norrington Davis, the Welsh international. Left foot, plays it forward, picks out Isaac Hayden. Onto Mbengi on the right-hand side. QPR attacking. Fisher snaps in, good challenge. But it's going to be another long throw in here, possibly, for Paul Smith after that challenge from Callum Fisher.
Yeah, good tackle that, and Smith didn't like that one. He's just taking his time to get back up to his feet, so I think he's...
Well, just one little thing to keep an eye on. Fisher, he's on 4 bookings for the season, so if he gets one today, he'll have a one-match ban. And Norwich have already lost Jack Stacey in this game to injury. They might be without any full-backs at all if this carries on. But anyway, they've got to deal with this now. This time it's Mbengi with a long throw-in from the right-hand side. Headed up by Fisher into the back of a QPR player and away. 2 Norwich subs getting ready to come on over on the far side. Philippe Clement wanting to inject a little bit of freshness into it. Is that Jacob Wright?
Jacob Wright,
yeah,
looks
Norwich
like
fans
Jacob
have been
Wright,
wanting to see Jacob Wright, and it could be Errol Mundle-Smith as well.
Yeah.
Just looking to see. It's right on the far side of the pitch, and not always easy for us to see, but I'm pretty sure that is who's coming on. Yeah, Jacob Wright. A lot of Norwich fans have been really keen to see him on the pitch. Hasn't had much football this season, certainly since his red card against Middlesbrough. And it's Mundle-Smith who's going to come on first for Forson, who's got his goal today, the one that put Norwich 3-1 up. He's done a job on the right-hand side, and he's being warmly applauded off after a lovely finish. And so Mundle-Smith will come on to play on the right-hand side for these final 25 minutes. And Emi Marcondes, another one of the Norwich goal scorers, is going to make way for Jacob Wright, which I'm sure a lot of Norwich fans will be pleased to see, because the youngster signed from Man City last season, and that move was made permanent. He only featured in 6 of Liam Manning's 17 games. He was suspended for 3 of them. On he comes. Listen to that. Jacob Wright. So, sometimes it's amazing how your reputation can grow when you're not playing, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. And it's up to him now. You know, the manager's now put him on, and there's enough of this game left for him to get himself involved and, you know, show what he's all about.
It looks like he's going to go and play in that number 10 position behind Sargent, and he's involved straight away here, tussling, and the other substitute, Mundle-Smith, tries to carry it away on the right-hand side. Cook comes across, Mundle-Smith makes the challenge, QPR throw in. Really interesting as well that Matthias Kvistgaard hasn't been brought on.
I know, and I don't know, I just think everyone in this stadium, and you know, from fans to the bench to the dressing room, want Josh Sargent to get his goal, and you know, I can only think that that's all it is. I mean, he's one I look at, and I've looked at some of his runs and some of his defensive work. He's one that I look at and I don't feel like he's unfit. You know, I feel like he's got lots to offer, and he doesn't look tired now or anything like that. So I say, you know, it'd be nice to see Kvistgaard and give him his chance when it's due. But for now, You know, Josh Sargent hasn't done anything.
Sorry, QT, I thought Fisher was getting a bit of a tangle there, but it's been cleared by Harry Darling, now to play.
Yeah.
3-1, we've played nearly half of the second half. There haven't really been many chances, have there, since half-time, which, with Norwich being the team in front, you'll say they're managing the game well for now.
Yeah, either QPR lack of ideas or Norwich have just dealt with the pressure well. I would still, you know, and I'm being really nitpicky here now, I'd like to see a bit more from us attacking-wise. We've had a few kind of glimpses, but nothing like what we saw in the first half. But it's about game management, isn't it,
driving
as well?
forward on the right-hand side for QPR. He's got Smith outside him. Curling cross from Smith into the penalty area. Duffy's there to clear for Norwich. Schwartau helps it further away, and we're going to see another QPR throw-in and probably another QPR long throw-in being launched in from the right-hand side. We've seen a few of these now. Still got a quarter of the game to go. Norwich in a strong position as it stands. 3-1 up against QPR, but there's still a lot of football to be played in this game. Can Norwich City get their first home victory of the season? Throw-in coming up. Canary call after the game. bbc.co.uk/Norfolk if you want to watch it. As Smith throws the ball into the Norwich penalty area. It's dealt with eventually and cleared by Norwich City, but it may go for a corner, and that is what happens. So Norwich have got to keep at it here. They're having their mettle tested, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's just important that they hold firm, they don't concede, because there's still a lot of this game to go, and a conceded goal now just paints a different picture. And
the QPR goalkeeper's in the Norwich half. Look, he's standing in the centre circle over the halfway line, watching. Elias Chair gets ready with the corner, in it comes, headed out by Norwich City initially, but it falls for the opportunity to come in. It was blocked. There was a foul in there by Frey as he tangled with, it might have been Kenny McLean, and Norwich have a free kick back inside their own half. Final change coming up for QPR. Their manager, Julian Stephan, is making a fifth and final change. And Benge, who scored that own goal in the first half, is being replaced. Off he goes. Over on that far side, and Kieran Morgan is coming on. It's interesting he's not brought on Richard Kone, who was available to him from the bench today. Kone, a player who got 21 goals last season for Wycombe and got the move in the summer, but he's been left on the bench even though they need a goal. Morgan, who's come on, he had a bit of an involvement in Norwich's season last year. Do you remember Kenny McLean getting a 3-match ban for the elbow off the ball when it wasn't spotted by the referee at the time? That was against him. Kings Lynn are winning 1-0 in their game away at Oxford City in National North. Oxford in the relegation zone. Kings Lynn have had to be patient, and they've got a 1-0 lead.
Didn't it get popped? Did we say it got popped to 4 games, didn't it?
I'm trying to remember. Yes, because he'd already had a red card.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
So he had it was a 3-game ban, but with an extra one because of the fact he'd already been sent off last season. McLean's now been felled by Frey. And McLean's not getting up initially, but I think he'll be okay.
I think he's asking of the ref, did you see it? Are you going to do anything about it? But no.
Yeah, that's the player who's come on we're talking about there, Kieran Morgan. So all the changes that QPR are entitled to make have been made.
Who'd you like to see to come on for Norwich? Just Visgarden?
I'd just like them to win the game.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
However they do it. 3-1 up at the moment. McLean's been dispossessed deep inside his own half. Here comes Chair for QPR. Gets a low shot in, straight at the goalkeeper. Just had a warning sign there for Norwich City. 20 minutes still to go. They cannot be sloppy. They cannot give anything away.
But again, I hate talking it up, but that's all he's had this game. I know obviously QPR have scored the goal, but in terms of the goalkeeper, Norwich goalkeeper's afternoon, he's had a couple of shots at him that he's dealt with okay, that haven't really put that much pressure on him.
Yeah, but if QPR get the next goal in the next few minutes, it'll be a really tense atmosphere. But at the moment, Norwich are doing the job. They lead 3-1, and now Schwartau hitting a ball across the field, looking for young Mundell Smith, who's come on, but he underhit it and it was dealt with. And it's back with Dunn, the centre half for QPR, to Morgan, who's gone to play it right back into Isaac Hayden. Back to Morgan on the right-hand side, cut out well by Harry Darling. Darling sets off towards the halfway line, finds Schwartau, quickly inside to Jacob Wright. Now Wright's got a chance to show Norwich fans what they've been missing, and he's found Sargent. Sargent from the angle, he's gone too wide, he's going to need some help. Mundell Smith now has it, clips it across. Harry Darling's in the 6-yard box, but it doesn't find him. Mundell Smith chases it out to the wing on the right-hand side, finds McConville, who undercooks the pass back to Mundell Smith, and the ball goes out off him for a QPR throw. It never quite looked fully in control of it there, did they?
No, I just wish one of them would have took the shot though. We've come out of that really good possession and that good passage of play without a shot at the end of it, which seems a shame because they had a couple of opportunities there. But
really interesting to see Jacob Wright playing as the furthest forward of the 3 Norwich midfielders in that number 10 position. Didn't take the opportunity there to have the shot, decided to try and release Sargent, and he in the end was forced wide.
He's done that brilliantly this game.
Masson going in on Hayden and then in on Dunn and making it difficult for QPR, but eventually Morgan plays it forward. But now Fisher's intercepted it and he plays one over the top of the QPR defence. Sargent thought about chasing it, but it's way overhit from Fisher.
Yeah, right idea. It just needed to be wider, more of an angle.
Yeah, just needed a bit taken off it, didn't it, for
yeah.
Sargent to be able to take. Now the Norwich fans just lifting the noise levels here. Would love to see their team win this one. 18 minutes to go. QPR have given it away to Kenny McLean on halfway. Reverse pass to Jacob Wright. Mundle-Smith, the youngster, could be in. On the right-hand side, Mundle-Smith in the penalty area. Now Norrington Davis gets the challenge in and the ball goes wide for a corner. Again, Mundle-Smith had the chance to break there, but it looked as if he had so much going through his mind, he wasn't really sure what to do with it.
Yeah, I just wanted him to get his head down there and just, given he's come on, put his foot through it, just have a go, make the keeper save or do something. Even if it goes high, well, at least it's positive. But
he's only 19. He'd only played 2 substitute appearances before today, 13 minutes in total. So this is going to be his longest exposure to first team football. And he's ended up winning his team a corner. They've been pretty good from corners today. 3-1. 2 of the goals have come from corners. Kenny McLean with his left foot from that right-hand side, trying to put the QPR goal under further pressure. Can Norwich get a 4th goal? There's the corner, played in near post, easily headed away. Mundle-Smith on the edge of the box, beaten to it by Burrell. Fisher plays it out again towards the right-hand side, and again Fisher's put too much on it, and McLean's turning around and saying, just to my feet, man.
Yeah, he was under a bit of pressure, so I'll give him that, but I
don't think Kenny McLean's giving him it.
No, he's not. No, but that's what you want, though, isn't it? It's not criticism. It's just it needs to be that little bit better and
just sharper.
Yeah,
that's right. Let's see what he was trying to do, and it wasn't easy. Matson tussling out of play, throw into QPR halfway inside their own half. Well, 17 minutes to go. Norwich City, without a home win this season, without a win of any sort in 13 matches, are 3-1 up against QPR. No one's taken anything for granted. It almost gets more and more edgy the closer it gets, the closer the finishing line gets. QPR will try and play on that, and they will go long. Header from McConville up towards the halfway line. Hayden nods it down for Chair, though. There's Matson breaking up the play once more. Cook puts the ball back in Norwich territory. Jacob Wright battling for his team and winning it and finding Kenny McLean. McLean nearly lost it, but did well to find McConville, and now McConville wins a throw-in, and McLean leading the applause. And he's telling Errol Mundle-Smith to just be available, just make the run sometimes.
Yeah. Is there any part, games gone by, seasons gone by, are you able to enjoy this yet? Or is there still that part of you that
I'm enjoying it more than a lot of games this season.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean.
Inside you that just overly cautious and
and it means so much now, doesn't it? Because Norwich are so far adrift. It felt like this was a massive week, and if they emerge from it with 4 points, that will feel as if they might have something to build on. As Jacob Wright now chases away on the right-hand side and crosses into the QPR penalty area. Morgan just about gets it back to his goalkeeper. There wasn't anyone in there for Norwich, so he had time.
No, he did well there as well.
The keeper rolls it out to Morgan, and Matson tried to chase him down, but he's got the pass into the midfield to Smith. McLean says he got the ball, but the foul's been given, and Kenny McLean is shown a yellow card. First Norwich player in the book today.
Honestly, I don't know if he's been waiting to give him that, but that was out of his pocket before the whistle went. That's how quickly he issued the yellow card to him there. It's already in his hand before it's even happened. Yeah,
McLean, I like the way McLean pointed at the ball.
Yes.
So I did get it, but referee Lewis Smith wasn't having it. McLean's booked. I don't think there's any way that one's going to be upgraded to a red afterwards, though, like the one against QPR last season. He wasn't even booked for. 15 minutes to go. 3-1 Norwich lead. Chair hits a high hanging free kick towards the Norwich box. It's well dealt with, it's headed away. Comes back to Norrington Davis on the left-hand side. Wright making sure he can't get forward quickly, and the ball has gone back to the goalkeeper Nardi. I say back, he's on halfway, the keeper. He's laid it off towards Morgan. There was a lovely moment there where Kenny McLean nearly got the ball on halfway with the keeper out of his goal.
I wonder if he would have done.
But it didn't fall for him. Here's Frey. Reverse pass for QPR into the penalty area. Darling almost saw that back to the goalkeeper, but decided he better take control of the situation and wins a goal kick off Isaac Hayden in the end.
Yeah, he did everything he needed him to do there. Decisive, keeper may have come and got it, but just wasn't taking any chances. Did well to kind of keep in front of the QPR attacker using his body, and managed to earn a goal kick. But that's what you rather. Even if the keeper could have come and got it, the defender just does the defending bit and doesn't cause any panic there. And if he'd have let that go and the keeper hadn't have come, you find yourself conceding a really silly goal and not having
Well, Norwich got a goal kick here, and there's another ball on the pitch over in the right back position. And you can see that Norwich are winning the game because one of the subs was going to come on and take it off the pitch, Tony Springett, but he thought, no, I haven't got permission to come on the pitch, so I better wait until the referee allows me. So Norwich are not getting on with anything now because they don't need to. 13 minutes to go. They lead 3-1. McConville will watch that one bounce out of play for a throw in to Norwich. Now playing it right back, Rory McConville. And the ball's gone out right by Philippe Clement, who has got hold of McConville's shirt and said, while you're here, here's a few messages as to what you need to do now for the rest of the game to see this out. Harry Darling for Norwich, deep inside his own half. Finds Callum Fisher. Inside to Maatsen. Maatsen onto Schwartau, who just about kept that ball in play and beat his man, but then Hayden blasted out of play for a throw in. Good from Schwartau, isn't it?
Yeah, I love a clean nutmeg, right in front of us as well.
13 minutes to go. Norwich City 3, QPR 1. Canary Call with Adrian Coote and Rob Butler. Taking your calls at full time. You can watch it as well on the website, bbc.co.uk/Norfolk. Duffy goes long for Norwich City, floats one over the top. Is Mundell Smith going to be in? It's onside! Mundell Smith from the angle, blocked by Norrington Davis and behind. It was bouncing. You could see he was going to get there before Norrington Davis, but as the ball bounced up, it just gave time for Norrington Davis to get round and make the block.
I didn't know whether he was going to, as he come down, whack it on the half volley, or whether he'd seen the keeper's off his line and was just going to sort of side foot it over him, because he could have definitely done that. He's just let it bounce one too many times and just given the QPR defender an opportunity to come back. But
yeah, well, Norwich have got a corner out of it. A fourth goal now would be precious for Norwich City. 3-1 up. McLean's corner, right hand side. McConville around the penalty spot. Lots of players in the 6-yard box. There's the delivery. Keeper's punched it. Hasn't got a great deal of distance on it. And McConville will just cushion the header back to Kenny McLean, who's just taken the corner on the right hand side. Sets up Callum Fisher for a cross into a packed penalty area towards the far post. Jacob Wright's header! Oh, it's blocked on the line.
It's a corner.
And goes behind for a corner. Wright came in at the far post. He got there. It looked like it might squirm in. But I think between a keeper and defender, it's bounced behind. That was nearly Jacob Wright's first goal for Norwich.
I'll have to have a look at it. I think he's headed it onto the back of the defender, which has then deflected it into the path of the keeper, who's then saved it onto the post and then outside of the post and gone out for a corner.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. Well described. Another Norwich corner from the left-hand side. The right boot of Jacob Wright. Plays it in, near post. McLean's header! Oh, no, the goalkeeper bounced it down on the line and then picked it up. And then Shane Duffy has blocked the goalkeeper from clearing the ball upfield. The goalkeeper's gone down in dramatic fashion and Shane Duffy has been booked. It's all going off out there, can you see?
I thought that, he's got a watch on, the ref tells him, but
it wasn't.
It's closer than it needed to be, though.
I don't know why the keeper's bouncing it. McLean's header, keeper gets both hands to it and for some reason pushes it down into the ground, and he's very lucky he's not pushed that behind the line. We're seeing a replay of it. No. Oh, it's on the line.
Yeah,
you can see we've got a side view here that we're being seen, the Hawkeye view, and you can see some of the ball is not visible because it's behind the post.
Yeah. I don't like Duffy's foul on the goalie, and the reason I say that is if we find ourselves in a position where he's got to make a professional foul just to keep, things as they are,
he's going to be sent off.
Exactly, and it just seems a real pointless, there's nothing wrong with your centre-half taking a yellow card in certain situations.
But he can't now do that. That's not open to him, is it?
No.
Maatsen plays one forward for Norwich City. They're looking to make the game safe here, or as safe as it ever is. Sargent spins it out to the right wing, into the path of Mundell Smith, who's beaten his man, the 19-year-old Mundell Smith, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Lays it off to Jacob Wright, who caresses it towards McConville. Back to Wright on the edge of the penalty area. Back out to McLean. Norwich pushing forward in search of another goal. Maatsen rolls it into the penalty area. No one chases it in. No one was on the same wavelength there, and it's through to the keeper. 10 minutes to go, 3-1.
Yeah, and again, I like the fact we're knocking the ball around. In those moments in and around, I just want somebody to have a go, test the keeper, have a shot. It's been raining, a bit zippy, fire one in and bounce it just in front of the goalie and get, your sergeants following in.
Just saw Mundell Smith chase the ball away, win a challenge, and it went for a throw-in, and straight away Clement was up at him saying, come on, keep at it.
Yeah.
Philippe Clement, that black baseball cap on over on the far side, he's becoming more animated the closer this gets. First win it would be as Norwich City head coach for him. It would be 4 points from his first 3 games, which is something to get hold of, isn't it? And it would be a win if it stays like this. The first since the end of August for Norwich City. Long kick from Nardi, the keeper. Mundell Smith back defending, gets his head to it. Maatsen plays it forward. Kenny McLean didn't take it in his stride. And it's fallen for Madsen in the midfield for QPR. Onto Isaac Hayden, who clips one forward. Fisher heads it back towards the edge of his own box. He's not going to go into the box though, so Darling is going to have to play it back to Kovacevic, and the Norwich goalkeeper clears long. Jacob Wright beaten in the air. It's come to Michael Frey, the Swiss striker for QPR. Chair on the overlap left-hand side will cross deep into the penalty area, too deep, and it's going to roll away for a goal kick. Norwich City are edging closer. 8 minutes to go. Movement over on the far side. Maybe Matthias Quisgarin is going to get a taste of the action here. And this will be the last substitution available to Norwich. That bounced down from the goalkeeper on the line. They're even showing it with the full goal decision system Hawkeye replay here, and it was on the line.
It was on the line.
There wasn't much of the ball over the line, in fairness, but it was dramatic enough for them to give the full replay to. In fact, I thought it was Quisgarin coming on. What about this? It's Jurasek.
Okay.
Mate Jurasek is getting ready.
We've had our chat. I've told you what I expect. Now go and show me.
Header on from Norwich City. Mundell-Smith chases it, but sees his route towards the ball blocked off. And QPR clear. This is something. Mate Jurasek coming on after what happened the other night. I think he's not on yet though. We'll talk about it in a moment, QT, as we watch QPR play it forward. Callum Fisher's won the tackle. Falls to Jacob Wright. Now Schwartau on the left-hand side. Schwartau against his fellow Dane Madsen. Knocks it back to Madsen, who's picked out Wright in a good position on the left-hand side. Infield to Oscar Schwartau. Mundell-Smith wants it over on the right. Instead it's gone to McConville, who hits it back towards the halfway line, and Shane Duffy. Now Harry Darling, actually it might be Quisgarin as well who's coming on. Duffy's ball forward is intercepted by Norrington Davis. QPR could counter here. McLean can't make the challenge because he's on a yellow card. Sargent can though, and gets back and makes the challenge on Frey and digs the ball out really well for Norwich City there. That's what they need in this situation. 7 minutes to go. 3-1.
That's why you're not bringing him off. You know, he's
not
probably
scored.
One of the fittest in the team.
But listen to this, the cries of USA, USA, the fans appreciate that so much.
You know, everyone is desperate for him to score, and I'm sure that'll come, keep working like that, and Norwich keep improving week after week, as we've seen in the last 2 games at least. You fancy him to get one sooner rather than later.
Now, goals elsewhere. West Brom are now 3-2 up against Swansea, which would mean Norwich could move to within 4 points of the Swans. Here's Mundell-Smith on the right-hand side, can't get away from his man. And Sheffield Wednesday, one team below Norwich in the table, were winning against Preston. They're now 3-2 down at home. QPR player down. Norwich though will play on. Darling passes the ball to McConville on the right hand side. All the goals in the first half. Norwich 3, QPR 1. Canary Call coming up after the game. Got the scrimmage on Monday night with Chris Reeve and Rob Butler. Precious few wins for them to enjoy this season. Is this the day? Here's Harry Darling. Forward to Jacob Wright. One touch to Schwartau. Quickly back towards Wright, but it's been intercepted by Dunn. Careless pass though from QPR. Sargent slightly on his heels, didn't expect the mistake there, and QPR have been able to get the ball back. Here's Morgan on the right hand side, plays it forward in behind Fisher. Smith fancies this one. Darling across, doubling up on him, and between them Darling and Fisher have got the ball back for Norwich City. Madsen up towards Wright on half. Oh, that was late. Burrell, cool. He's been booked, Burrell, in this game already, and it is going to be a yellow card for Burrell. Was it Burrell? No, he's booked Smith. Well, actually, I wonder what that was for, because there was perhaps an earlier challenge there. Anyway, Smith's gone in the book, that's all you need to know. And it eats up more vital time in the game for Norwich City to perhaps see out what would be, I mean, it would be one win, that's all it would be, but in the context of Norwich's season and of the week, it'd be so precious, wouldn't it? Just trying to see, what Smith did wrong there. I thought it was Burrell who made the it was actually Smith who made the challenge. That was mistaken identity. Yeah, he came in behind, didn't he? I thought it was the player in front
him and then carried on running.
So it is right, he's got the yellow card there, Smith. And we've seen it again. 5 minutes to go. 3-1. We'll talk about how big this win could be for Norwich City as and when it happens. But here's Frey for QPR. Burrell is away on the right-hand side. Darling trying to get back at him. Burrell, who scored in the first half, waiting for support to arrive. He crosses it. It's Chair on the edge of the penalty area, who curls it just wide. That really would. You could feel the collective heart rate rising at Carrow Road there, couldn't you, as Chair took that shot on.
Went in slow motion for me. I always watch the keeper when it leaves the attacker's foot to see what he does, and the keeper was scrammed like he was full stretch dive across the post, so he couldn't be sure that was going wide, but thankfully it did.
Can we play him every week, sing the Norwich fans? The football fan sense of humour is kicking in. There's still a bit of time to go. 3.5 minutes. Norwich have got 2 substitutes I think they want to bring on, Quisgarin and Jurasek. But they're not going to do that yet. They're going to take the goal kick through Kovacevic. It's on halfway with Maatsen, who just blasts it long. Mundell Smith will, in a token effort, set off after it, but that's always going out of play. And Norwich can now make a really interesting couple of substitutions here, because we're going to see Oscar Schwartau replaced by Mate Jurasek. And it's big that Jurasek is getting a taste of the action, because he was hauled off the field just 15 minutes after coming on the other night. He's only going to get 3 minutes plus stoppage time today, but the fact he's coming on at all feels big, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the reason I like it is because it just puts the whole episode to bed now for me. I think, you know, he's pulled him off. He said what he said to him on the sideline. He said what he said to him during the week. Told him what he expects from him. This is a statement that you're in my plans. But Jurasek, the ball's in his court now. You know, this is what I expect. I've given you another opportunity. It's up to you.
Terrific effort from Josh Sargent today, but 14 games now without a goal. But the work rate you cannot fault. Matthias Kvistgården comes on.
That keeps him in the team for me. You know, I know not forever, but I think, you know, he's earned a longer run in the team not scoring a goal than perhaps some other strikers in other clubs within the league would maybe get because of that.
It did feel as if there was a bit of a partnership developing between Kvistgården and Sargent, but I think Clement might see it as them sharing the workload as the centre forward.
Yeah.
Now, here's Jacob Wright for Norwich City. Jurasek's in the penalty area. Oh, he's been tackled.
Oh.
That would have been something.
What a lovely pass as well.
Took it in his stride, but as he did, and then Kvistgården doing the straight out of the Josh Sargent playbook there, closing down a clearance, and it's a throw in. What if Jurasek scores?
Yeah, I know, it's mad, and I'm just fixated with him now. I'm watching him. I'm watching his work up and down, and
yeah, he won't dare jog at all today.
No.
Will he? Everything will be a sprint after what happened the other night when he was taken off so early. And now he's putting QPR under pressure, and he's made a challenge, and off it goes, and a round of applause from the Norwich fans. Not the sort of challenge that would usually have got a round of applause, but everybody knows the context.
And fair play to the manager for listening, because Jurasek has clearly said to him after the Oxford substitution, look, I only had about 10 minutes in me, and so the managers give him 5 minutes plus stoppage time.
Yeah. Here's Fisher for Norwich City. Left wing, inside his own half. He's made a mistake there, though. He's given it back to QPR. And here's Burrell, who could still put a doubt in Norwich minds. To Frey on the edge of the penalty area. McLean tracking him back. The ball's been deflected into the middle. There's a real chance here for QPR. Chair couldn't control first time. It's out of the penalty area. Norrington Davis, though, for QPR. One of the substitutes. Jurasek's got to try and block the cross, and he does! And it's a throw-in for QPR, and that will feel good for Jurasek.
Go on, Matty.
That he got back and stopped QPR from getting the ball into the penalty area. But he's got to do it again and again and again. That's the thing. It's a good sign for Jurasek. He's already got mud splattered all at the back of his shirt. That's a good look, isn't it?
I think he just winked at the manager as well.
Right, 20 seconds to go plus stoppage time. Hold on to your hats, everybody. It's a QPR long throw coming into the penalty area from the left-hand side. Duffy, towering header away. Norrington Davis is going to sweep it across here, though, to Morgan. QPR have got another chance to get the ball in the box. Maatsen throws himself at it and heads it away. It comes back to Morgan on the right-hand side. QPR have loaded the penalty area. High ball, Kovacevic has come a long way, and he takes the catch, and he dives on the ball like a player scoring a try at Twickenham. But now, look, the referee is counting down the seconds. He's got to use this ball, Kovacevic. Or the new rules would mean it would be a corner to QPR. He has launched it up the field. It's bounced on the edge of the QPR penalty area. Oh, and Kvistgården's nearly getting in, but Nardi, the goalkeeper, has come to get it. I missed the stoppage time. 5 minutes. 5 minutes is watching the ball. That's the trouble when they put the ball up during the game. 5 minutes. Norwich are 5 minutes away from a first home win of the season. They've got a 2-goal cushion. 3-1 they lead. Here's Morgan on the right-hand side for QPR. They've not given it up yet. Hayden sweeps the pass over towards the left-hand side. Look at that on his knees. McConville stooping to head the ball away. Jurasek chopped down by Elias Chair. And that's a free kick. That was the sort of challenge McLean was booked for earlier on. But anyway, Norwich have got a free kick, and they won't be in any hurry at all. They are 3-1 up at home. This is massive, isn't it, in the context of the season?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And you know, we look at how the teams around them started and looked like they were going to pick up points, but now looking at it, that's all changed, and you know, it looks like we hold on. We close the gap significantly. It doesn't fix us, doesn't make everything all right, and we're on the road to top 6, but you know, just builds a bit of momentum. You know, we're now unbeaten in 2 if we hold on.
It puts Norwich to within 4 points of the safety line. Jurasek, left-hand side, takes the pass back to Pelle Maatsen. Now Harry Darling on halfway, uses Kellen Fisher on the left. Mundell Smith is now playing on the left-hand side, but Fisher couldn't find him. And that's going to be... Was that run out of play by the QPR playing Morgan? No, he kept it in. Here's Frey on halfway. Back to Morgan on the right-hand side. And now behind him is Jimmy Dunn. Norwich fans lifting the noise levels, wanting to see their team home. 3 minutes of time added on to go. It's 3-1 to Norwich City. Jurasek is needed here defensively. Norrington Davis, though, has shrugged him off this time and wins a corner as he gets the cross in. It's a QPR corner. We just feel, with the time left, where are we? 92 minutes and 10 seconds. If Norwich can see out this corner, it would be a big, big step towards a much-needed victory. But they've got to stick at it. That's the thing, isn't it? You're never home and hosed until that whistle goes. You've got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
There's a packed 6-yard box.
Don't give silly penalty away.
Elias Chair's going to curl this corner right under the crossbar and into the side netting. And now there's a bit of a dust-up in the 6-yard box. Kovacevic has reacted angrily. There's some pushing and shoving. And one of the Norwich players has just come over, and it is Harry Darling. He's just decided that Kovacevic needs a hug. And by hugging him, he's taking him out of the firing line. And just listen to this. It's not often that Carrow Road has sounded like this in stoppage time this season. They haven't won at home since May. More than 6 months since these Norwich City supporters saw their team win on this ground. More than, well, about 3 months, almost to the day, since they saw their team win at all.
They've got the drum out and everything.
The drum's out.
Yeah.
As you said earlier, it doesn't fix everything, but there's a bit of belief just creeping back in. Duffy with a clearance, launches it, boots it up the field. Jurasek sets off after it. Look at him, he can go when he wants to. Jurasek, and he's got there as well on the left-hand side. Brilliant run for the Czech winger, and the ball's been rebounded into the QPR penalty area, and they clear it away. He's quick.
And I think that's what the manager sees in training and wants to see more of and stuff like that. The fact that it's there, like that, is such a big thing to be able to get in front of the defender and just hold on to it for an extra 30 seconds in the last moments of a game that you're not hanging on to.
Matson launches the ball forward and out of the ground. It's hit the roof of the City stand and away. We're in the final minute of the stoppage time. Norwich City 3, QPR 1. That was the score at half-time. Haven't been too many chances in the second half. But Norwich haven't needed any more. Morgan, the QPR player, goes back to his goalkeeper Paul Nardi, who's standing 30 yards from goal. And he strokes it to Steve Cook, a player who's been sent off against Norwich in the past and has scored against the Canaries in the past. He's going to be on the losing side today, by the looks of it. No team has been beaten at Carrow Road this season in terms of the visitors, until maybe now, as the ball is back with the QPR goalkeeper once more. He passes it out. Chris Curran trying to make it difficult for them to clear. In the end, Morgan does just play it up the field. Fisher goes down, no foul. Smith from the edge of the penalty area for QPR, straight at the keeper. And again, Kovacevic dives on the ball. And he gets a huge pat on the back there from Harry Darling. And the referee does the dramatic countdown of 5 seconds. And he clears the ball up the field towards halfway. Wright couldn't take the touch. The referee's just looked at his watch. We are seconds away from full time at Carrow Road. But here come QPR, one last time perhaps. Smith on the right-hand side. His cross! Oh, it's gone a long way. The goalkeeper hasn't got there. He has the second time. Scramble in the penalty area. And there's a foul in the penalty area. And Norwich have got a free kick. And they've got 3 points! It's happened at last! Norwich City have won at Carrow Road for the first time this season. And the first time anywhere for 3 months.